If you have ever tried to learn a new language, especially one like English, you know that feeling. It's like you're standing at the bottom of a giant mountain of words, looking up with absolutely no idea where the path is. It's just overwhelming. So let's just get right to it and ask the big question every single learner has on their mind. To really, truly speak English, how many words do you actually need to know? Well, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, there are over 171,000 words currently in use. Yeah, that's not just a mountain, that's an entire mountain range. And when you see a number like that, it is no wonder so many people get discouraged and just give up. But what if I told you that trying to climb that mountain is completely the wrong way to think about it? What if there was a much smarter, a much more efficient way to get to the top? And here's the secret. It's not about learning every single word, not at all. It's about learning the right words. I mean, what if a small, really core set of words could unlock almost everything you read and hear? Well, a list like that actually exists, and the results? They're just astounding. By focusing on just 4,000 of these high-frequency words, you can understand a staggering 90% of everyday conversation, 90% of novels, and 80% of newspapers. This isn't just a small improvement, it's a total game changer. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This comes straight from the research behind the 4,000 Essential English Words series. The author, Paul Nation, who's a professor of applied linguistics, confirms that these words were chosen specifically because they show up everywhere, in all kinds of English. Which, of course, leads to the next big question. How in the world do they find these magic words? Is it just some lucky guess? Nope, not at all. There's a real science behind it. That science is called corpus linguistics. Now, I know it sounds really complicated, but the idea is actually super simple. Researchers use computers to scan and analyze huge collections of real-world texts, books, articles, conversations, to see which words actually get used the most. It's all driven by data, not guesswork. And the process itself is pretty straightforward. First, the researchers gather millions and millions of words from all over the place. Then, computers count every single word and rank them by how often they pop up. And finally, they select the top words, the ones that give you the most bang for your learning buck. And the result of all that work? It's a powerhouse list. These are not obscure words from some old book. These are the versatile, hardworking words you are going to see and hear everywhere, from a casual chat to the front page of the news. Okay, so we've got the ultimate word list. Fantastic. But we all know that just staring at a list of words, well, it doesn't work. The real magic isn't just in the list, it's in how you learn them. The list is the what, but the method, that's the how. The method used in the book is really designed to make these words stick. First, you get a clear definition and a simple example. Then, you do some activities to practice remembering the word. But that final step, that's the most important one. You see the new words used naturally, inside a story. Theory is great, but let's actually see it in practice. We're going to use a real example from the book, a classic fable called The Lion and the Rabbit, to show you just how powerful this is. Okay, so listen to this little piece from the story. A cruel lion lived in the forest. Every day he killed and ate a lot of animals. The other animals were afraid the lion would kill them all. The animals told the lion, if you promise to eat only one animal each day, then all the other animals were safe. See? Did you catch them? Woven right into that simple little tale were the key target words: cruel, afraid, promise, safe. You're not just memorizing a definition from a list, you're actually seeing the words come to life in a context that makes sense. The story does all the heavy lifting for you. And this just nails the core idea, doesn't it? Staring at an abstract list is boring, it's ineffective. Our brains just aren't built for that. But a memorable story, that creates connections, both emotional and logical, which dramatically boosts your chances of remembering the word later. So let's zoom out of it. What does all this actually mean for you, the person trying to learn? Well, this whole approach is basically the 80-20 rule for language. You focus on the vital 20% of the words that will give you 80% of the understanding. This table really sums it up perfectly. The random approach means you're putting in a ton of unfocused effort for really slow results.
But the high-frequency approach, that's focused, efficient effort that leads to rapid gains in your comprehension. You start understanding real-world English so much faster.
Now, let's be really clear here. This is not some magic pill for instant perfect fluency. That stuff doesn't exist. But what this method does offer is the single fastest and most powerful foundation that you can possibly build. Understanding is the bedrock of fluency, and this is how you build it solid. And really, that's what it's all about. By mastering this essential core of the language, you unlock the door. You finally get the ability to understand, to engage with people, and to start truly communicating with the world in a new and incredibly exciting way. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. This idea of finding the essential core, it doesn't just apply to learning a language. It applies to almost any skill you can think of. So think about something you want to learn. What's its powerful, essential core?